Sad news from the entertainment world. Singer-songwriter Natalie Cole has died.
The tragic fate of Natalie Cole is a heartbreaking story that shocked the world. Despite her immense success and talent, her life was filled with personal struggles, including battles with addiction and profound loss. Are you ready to listen to Natalie Cole's heartbreaking story? Take a deep breath to get started. No need to waste time searching. Natalie Cole's married life became the most visible tragedy of her life. Natalie Cole had a complex personal life, marked by her 3 marriages, deep family connections, and struggles with loss. These relationships, though not without their challenges, shaped much of her emotional and spiritual journey, as well as her involvement in charitable causes. Her first marriage was to Marvin Yancey, a gifted songwriter, producer, and former member of the 1970s R&B group The Independents. The couple wed in July 1976 in Chicago, marking the beginning of a partnership that blended both personal and professional realms. Marvin was not just a significant other, but also a guiding force in Cole's music career. He served as her producer and helped her craft much of her musical legacy during the early stages of her career. Their union also had a profound spiritual impact on Cole. Marvin, an ordained Baptist minister, played a pivotal role in reintroducing Cole to religion. This led to her transformation from a lapsed Episcopalian to a devout Baptist, which became an integral part of her life moving forward. Together, they had a son, Robert Adam "Robbie" Yancey, born on October 14, 1977. Robbie would follow in his mother's footsteps, pursuing music as a career. He even toured alongside her, taking part in performances that further strengthened their bond. However, despite the success they enjoyed as a family, their marriage eventually ended in 1980. The divorce was a difficult chapter in Cole's life, though she later reflected on the positive impact Marvin had on her, both professionally and spiritually. Tragedy struck in 1985 when Marvin Yancey passed away from a heart attack at the young age of 34. His death was a devastating loss for Cole, and it had a profound effect on her, as she had not only lost her husband, but also someone who had deeply influenced her faith and musical career. As a result, she took time to reflect on her own personal growth and the faith that had been so important to her during their time together. In 1989, Cole remarried record producer and former drummer for the band Rufus, Andre Fisher. The couple's relationship, however, would not stand the test of time. They divorced in 1995, a period during which Cole's personal life remained turbulent. Despite the professional success she continued to enjoy, Cole's emotional struggles and her experiences with love and loss were deeply intertwined with her work and her sense of self. Her third marriage was to Bishop Kenneth Dupree in 2001. However, this union also ended in divorce just 3 years later in 2004. The breakdown of her marriages, particularly those that had begun with such hope and promise, seemed to mark a period of personal turmoil for Cole, though she continued to persevere and rebuild her life in both her personal and professional spheres. The most heart-wrenching moment in Cole's life came in 2017 with the sudden death of her son, Robbie. At the age of 39, Robbie Yancey died of a heart attack, which left his mother devastated. She had shared so much of her life with Robbie, both personally and professionally, and his loss was an immense blow. It was especially difficult for Cole, as she had already dealt with the premature passing of her first husband, Marvin, and now had to face the heartbreak of losing her own child. Beyond her family struggles, Cole was also deeply committed to philanthropic causes. She was notably involved with the Afghan World Foundation, supporting the efforts of Sonia Nasseri Cole, no relation, who worked on behalf of Afghan women and children. Cole's engagement with this cause spoke to her desire to give back and make a positive impact on the world, especially after experiencing such personal hardship. Natalie Cole's tragedy doesn't stop there. In 2000, she opened up about her tumultuous personal journey in her autobiography, Angel on My Shoulder, a candid account that highlighted the darker periods of her life, particularly her long and painful battle with drug addiction. For much of her adult life, Cole struggled with substance abuse, including heroin and crack cocaine, battles that not only affected her health and career, but also deeply impacted her relationships and sense of self. Her addiction to drugs began during her time at the University of Massachusetts Amherst, where she first started using substances recreationally. At first, it seemed harmless, but as she delved deeper into the world of addiction, it quickly spiraled out of control. Cole's autobiography reveals that, as her dependence on drugs grew, so did her desperation. During one phase of her addiction, she resorted to working as a prostitute's tout, a job she took on to fund her habit. This was one of the darkest times in her life, and she spoke candidly about the degradation and hopelessness she felt as she lost herself in the grip of addiction. In 1975, while still in the throes of her addiction, Cole was arrested in Toronto, Canada, for possession of heroin. This arrest marked a significant low in her life as she was publicly exposed and forced to confront the growing consequences of her actions. However, the law enforcement incident was only one of many signs that her drug use was spiraling out of control. Her autobiography reveals a series of increasingly reckless behaviors, some of which almost led to tragedy. One harrowing event involved Cole refusing to leave a burning building, a moment of profound recklessness that reflected how deeply her addiction had taken hold. The situation was a clear manifestation of her self-destructive tendencies during those years. Another near-catastrophic moment occurred when her young son, Robert "Robbie" Yancey, nearly drowned in the family swimming pool while Cole was in the midst of a drug binge. The incident was a stark wake-up call for her, highlighting the dangers of her addiction, not just to herself but to those she loved most. It was a painful realization that her behavior was not only self-destructive, but also putting her family at risk. These moments of near loss, coupled with the mounting pressure of her personal and professional life, served as pivotal moments that ultimately led Cole to seek help. In 1983, after years of struggling with addiction and the near-total destruction of her personal life, Cole entered rehab. This decision marked the beginning of her long road to recovery. Her time in rehabilitation was grueling, but it also provided her with the tools she needed to confront her addiction and reclaim control of her life. Throughout her autobiography, Cole reflects on the difficult and often painful process of recovery, acknowledging that it was not an easy path, but one that ultimately saved her life. Her journey from addiction to sobriety would later inspire many, showing that even in the darkest moments, it is possible to rebuild and find hope again. Her memoir, Angel on My Shoulder, was released in conjunction with a made-for-TV movie, Livin' for Love, the Natalie Cole story, which aired on NBC on December 10, 2000. The film, which chronicled Cole's rise to fame, her struggles with addiction, and her eventual recovery, provided viewers with an intimate look at her life and the challenges she overcame. The movie, like the autobiography, was a raw and honest portrayal of the complexities of addiction and the personal strength required to overcome it. It highlighted not just her battles, but also her resilience, portraying her as a woman who, despite her mistakes, was determined to live life on her own terms. In the years following her sobriety, Cole became an advocate for drug recovery, using her story as a tool to encourage others struggling with addiction. Her message was one of hope. If she could rebuild her life after such profound challenges, so could others. The release of her autobiography and the subsequent TV movie marked a turning point in Cole's career, as she began to speak more openly about her personal struggles and triumphs. These endeavors not only helped her heal, but also provided her fans with a deeper understanding of the woman behind the music. As an artist, Cole's struggles with addiction were not only personal, but professional as well. Throughout the years, her career had ebbed and flowed, and her drug use had certainly played a role in her erratic behavior and challenges in maintaining her musical momentum. However, after her recovery, Cole's focus on her music and her health led to a resurgence in her career, including the release of new albums and successful performances. Her comeback story became a symbol of redemption, proving that even after the darkest times, there is always a path back to light. The release of Angel on My Shoulder and Livin' for Love was not just about telling her story. It was also about Cole's commitment to sharing her journey of overcoming addiction and reclaiming her life. She wanted her experiences to serve as a beacon for others facing similar struggles. Her story, full of raw honesty, was one of perseverance, resilience, and the power of second chances. In 2008, Natalie Cole faced a new, unexpected challenge when she was diagnosed with hepatitis C, a liver disease primarily spread through contact with infected blood. In an emotional public announcement, Cole revealed that she attributed her diagnosis to her past intravenous drug use, acknowledging the long-term consequences of her earlier battles with addiction. For many years, she had been open about her struggles with drugs, particularly heroin and crack cocaine, and she recognized that the effects of her past choices would resurface in ways she could not have foreseen. In 2009, she explained that the disease had been silently present in her body for 25 years, a grim reminder of the long-lasting effects of her addiction. As she put it, hepatitis C could still affect anyone who experimented with drugs, particularly those who used needles, a warning that she shared to help others avoid the same fate. Hepatitis C is a serious and often life-threatening condition that can lead to liver damage, cirrhosis, or even liver cancer. However, the disease was not the only obstacle Cole would face in her health journey. 4 months after starting treatment for hepatitis C, Cole experienced kidney failure. This was a significant setback in her battle for health, as her kidneys were no longer able to function properly. She required dialysis 3 times a week for nearly 9 months, a grueling and life-altering process. Despite the severe nature of her condition, Cole remained resilient, and she continued to focus on her recovery, even as she faced these physical challenges. In May 2009, after appealing for a kidney on The Larry King Show, Cole received life-changing news. The organ procurement agency One Legacy contacted her with the possibility of a kidney transplant. A family who had lost a loved one offered their deceased relative's kidney for donation, requesting that it go to Cole if there was a match. This extraordinary act of generosity provided Cole with a second chance at life, and she underwent a successful kidney transplant later that year. Her willingness to share her experience with the public not only highlighted the importance of organ donation, but also brought awareness to the harsh realities of living with chronic illness. Despite her recovery and the kidney transplant, Cole's health continued to be a major concern throughout the years. In December 2015, her illness forced her to cancel several planned performances, marking a significant downturn in her health. Her last public musical performance took place in Manila, where she performed a short set of just 3 songs, a poignant moment that underscored the fragility of her health. This performance would be her final one, as she was no longer able to continue touring or performing at the level she had throughout much of her career. On December 31, 2015, New Year's Eve, Natalie Cole passed away at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles at the age of 65. Her publicist released a statement confirming that her death was due to congestive heart failure, a condition that had developed as a complication of idiopathic pulmonary arterial hypertension, which she had been diagnosed with after her kidney transplant in 2009. Her family expressed their grief in a heartfelt statement, emphasizing the courage, strength, and dignity with which she had fought against her illness. They wrote, "Natalie fought a fierce, courageous battle, dying how she lived, with dignity, strength, and honor. our beloved mother and sister will be greatly missed and remain unforgettable in our hearts forever. Cole's passing was a profound loss to the music world and to all who admired her strength and resilience. Her funeral was held on January 11, 2016, at the West Angeles Church of God in Christ in Los Angeles, where a number of notable figures gathered to honor her memory. Among the mourners were fellow musicians and friends such as David Foster, Stevie Wonder, Smokey Robinson, Lionel Richie, Chaka Khan, Eddie Levert, Gladys Knight, and Mary Wilson. Celebrities such as Angela Bassett, Denise Nicholas, Marla Gibbs, Jackie Harry, and Frida Payne also attended, paying their respects to the legendary artist who had touched the lives of millions. After the funeral, Cole was laid to rest at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Glendale, California, in the Court of Freedom section of the Garden of Honor. Her grave is located in a private area with no public access, ensuring a quiet, respectful resting place for the woman who had given so much to the world through her music. Going back to Natalie Cole's early years, you'll see the tragedies she hid. She grew up in a legendary musical family. Her father, Nat King Cole, was one of the most beloved American jazz pianists and vocalists, famous for his smooth voice and timeless hits like Unforgettable and Mona Lisa. Her mother, Maria Hawkins Ellington, was a singer who had performed with the Duke Ellington Orchestra. Maria was not only a talented musician, but also a figure of importance in the world of jazz, bringing her own artistic influence into Natalie's life from an early age. Growing up in the affluent Hancock Park district of Los Angeles, Natalie was surrounded by the luxury and culture that came with her family's success, and she often referred to her family as the Black Kennedys, a reflection of both their social standing and the influence they held in the entertainment world. Natalie's upbringing was steeped in music and culture, as she was exposed to some of the greatest names in jazz, soul, and blues. Her father's career had already established the Cole family name as synonymous with musical excellence, and it was no surprise that Natalie, too, would be drawn to the stage. Her earliest musical memories include singing on her father's 1960 Christmas album, The Magic of Christmas, at just 10 years old. That early experience was a precursor to what would become a lifelong career in music, but it also highlighted the heavy influence her father had on her musical path. Natalie's family structure was both close-knit and unique. She grew up with her older adopted sister, Carol "Cookie" Cole, 1944 to 2009, who was her mother's younger sister's daughter, as well as an adopted brother, Nat Kelly Cole, 1959 to 1995, and younger twin sisters, Timolyn and Casey, born in 1961. The presence of these siblings, along with their shared love for music, shaped Natalie's childhood and provided her with a sense of family camaraderie. Through her mother, Natalie was also a grandniece of Charlotte Hawkins Brown, a pioneering African-American educator who founded the Palmer Memorial Institute in North Carolina. This link to education and social justice played a role in shaping Natalie's own values and understanding of the world. Education was an important aspect of Natalie's early years, and her family's success allowed her the opportunity to attend some of the best schools in the country. She initially enrolled at Northfield School for Girls in Massachusetts, which later became part of Northfield Mount Hermon School in 1971 after a merger. It was at this prestigious New England preparatory school that she received an elite education. But her time there was cut short by a tragic turn of events in 1965 when her father passed away from lung cancer. The loss of her father at such a young age deeply affected Natalie, and it was a significant turning point in her life. Following her father's death, Natalie's relationship with her mother, Maria, became strained. The grief of losing her father, coupled with the pressures of growing up in the shadow of such a monumental figure, led to some difficult years for Natalie as she navigated her adolescence. Despite this, she continued to pursue her education, eventually enrolling at the Buckley School. a private institution in Sherman Oaks, California, where she further honed her academic skills and broadened her social circles. Natalie's college years were marked by her exploration of different academic paths. Initially, she enrolled at the University of Massachusetts Amherst, where she would begin to carve her own identity outside of her father's shadow. She briefly transferred to the University of Southern California, USC, where she pledged to the Upsilon chapter of the Delta Sigma Theta sorority, a historically African-American sorority known for its commitment to public service and cultural awareness. However, after a short stint at USC, she transferred back to the University of Massachusetts, where she majored in child psychology and minored in German, graduating in 1972. It was during this time that Natalie began to develop her personal interests, blending her passion for music with her academic pursuits. Though she initially studied psychology, it was clear that music was Natalie's true calling. While her academic career was impressive, the pull of the entertainment industry and the legacy of her father's influence was undeniable. It wasn't long before Natalie began to forge her own path as a singer, first gaining recognition for her vocal abilities and eventually becoming one of the most celebrated artists of her time. Yet, throughout her early years, it was her family's legacy, her exposure to great music, and her formative education that shaped the woman and artist she would become. After graduating in 1972, Natalie Cole took the bold step of pursuing a career in music. She began performing in small clubs, initially with her band, Black Magic. It was a challenging time as the clubs she played in welcomed her due to her famous last name but were soon disappointed by her musical style. Rather than leaning into the legacy of her father's traditional pop-jazz sound, Cole was more inclined to sing cover versions of R&B and rock songs. This divergence from the expected genre caused initial friction, but it was also a clear signal of her desire to establish her own artistic identity, independent of her father's fame. Natalie's breakthrough came with the help of two key figures in her early career, Chuck Jackson and Marvin Yancey. The songwriting and producing duo took Cole under their wing and began to shape her sound. They recorded demos in a Chicago studio owned by Curtis Mayfield, a figure who was also a major influence on the genre. The demo tapes that Cole recorded, with Jackson and Yancey's guidance, proved to be pivotal in securing a recording contract with Capitol Records. This partnership ultimately led to the release of her debut album, Inseparable, in 1975. The album's sound was reminiscent of the soul music of the era, and its tracks were steeped in the style of classic R&B artists like Aretha Franklin. Indeed, the similarity between Cole's vocals and Franklin's iconic sound was immediately apparent. Songs like This Will Be and I Can't Say No stood out as the album's highlights. The album marked a significant moment in her career, launching her into the mainstream and earning her recognition not only as Nat King Cole's daughter, but as a legitimate artist in her own right. Interestingly, Inseparable became a cultural touchstone, partly due to Aretha Franklin's own reaction to the album. Franklin later revealed that the songs This Will Be, I Can't Say No, and several others had originally been offered to her while she was recording her own album, You. Franklin had declined the songs, and Cole's success with them only served to emphasize the divergence between the two singers' careers. This Will Be became a smash hit, reaching the top 10 of the charts and earning Natalie Cole a Grammy Award for Best Female R&B Vocal Performance. It also helped solidify her place in the music industry as a rising star. The success of the album was further buoyed by the title track, Inseparable, which also became a top 10 hit, solidifying Cole's place in R&B history. Both songs reached #1 on the R&B charts, marking a significant achievement for a new artist. Cole's debut was not only a commercial success but critically acclaimed as well, and she was awarded the prestigious Grammy Award for Best New Artist, making her the first African-American artist to achieve that honor. However, the media's portrayal of Cole as the new Aretha Franklin inadvertently sowed the seeds of rivalry between the two legendary singers. It was a comparison that would haunt both women for years, even as they both carved out their own legacies in the music world. The tension between them boiled over at the 19th Annual Grammy Awards in 1977, when Cole beat Franklin in the Best Female R&B Vocal Performance category. This was particularly significant because Franklin had won that category for the first 8 years of its existence, making her dominance in this space undeniable. Despite what many believed, Franklin was not nominated for a Grammy at the 1976 ceremony, but both she and Cole were nominated the following year. In 1977, Cole's hit Sophisticated Lady, She's a Different Lady, triumphed over Franklin's Something He Can Feel, further deepening the rivalry between the two icons. After becoming an instant star with her debut album Inseparable in 1975, critics were quick to question whether she could maintain her success with a sophomore album. However, Cole responded decisively with Natalie, released in 1976, which went on to become another gold-certified hit, thanks to standout tracks like the funk-infused Sophisticated Lady and the jazzy Mr. Melody. These tracks further established her as a force in the R&B world, expanding her sound beyond the traditional boundaries and showcasing her ability to blend genres seamlessly. Cole's third album, Unpredictable, released in 1977, marked a significant milestone in her career as it was her first platinum-certified record. The success of the album was largely propelled by the chart-topping hit I've Got Love on My Mind, a smooth, soulful track that quickly became a fan favorite. However, another song from the album, I'm Catching Hell, would also go on to become a key part of Cole's live shows, resonating deeply with audiences and securing its place as one of her most beloved songs. At this point in her career, Cole was not just a chart-topping artist, she was an influential force in the industry, and her continued popularity reflected her growing fan base and reputation as a versatile and captivating performer. By the end of 1977, Cole was continuing to dominate the music scene. Her fourth album, Thankful, was released that year and quickly went platinum, largely due to the massive success of the single Our Love, a romantic ballad that became one of her signature songs. Cole was the first female artist to have 2 platinum albums in 1 year, a testament to her unstoppable rise in the music industry. As if that wasn't enough, she further cemented her status by starring in her own TV special, which featured appearances by top artists like Earth, Wind and Fire, and was broadcast to a wide audience. Cole also made notable appearances on the star-studded special Sinatra and Friends, which was yet another indication of her growing visibility and popularity. In 1978, Cole released her first live album, Natalie Live, which captured the energy and excitement of her live performances. The album's release was timed with another major milestone in her career. In early 1979, Cole was awarded a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, a recognition of her immense contributions to the music industry. That same year, she continued to release successful albums with I Love You So and We're the Best of Friends, a duet album with Peabo Bryson. Both albums went gold in the U.S., solidifying Cole's ongoing relevance in the music scene. However, as the 1980s progressed, Cole's career began to take a detour. While Don't Look Back, released in 1980, produced an adult contemporary hit with the ballad Someone That I Used to Love, the album as a whole failed to achieve gold status. By 1981, Cole's personal struggles, including battles with drug addiction, became widely publicized. These challenges began to affect her career, leading to a period of stagnation and uncertainty. In 1983, after releasing the album I'm Ready on Epic, Cole checked into a rehab facility in Connecticut, where she spent 6 months recovering from her addiction. This marked a turning point in her life, and upon her release, she signed with Atco Records and released Dangerous, an album that marked the beginning of a slow yet steady resurgence in her career. In 1987, Cole signed with EMI Manhattan Records and released Everlasting, an album that proved to be a major success, both commercially and critically. With tracks like the energetic Jumpstart, My Heart, and the top 10 ballad I Live for Your Love, along with a dance-pop cover of Bruce Springsteen's Pink Cadillac, Everlasting became a platinum-certified success. It was Cole's first platinum album in a decade, and it was clear that her ability to evolve her sound kept her relevant in the ever-changing music industry. Cole continued to find success with her 1989 album Good to Be Back, which produced the hit Miss You Like Crazy. The song became her biggest hit in the United Kingdom, where it reached #2 on the UK singles chart, and the album itself became her only top 10 album in the UK, achieving gold certification there. Though the album did not achieve similar success in the US, it was a significant international hit, reflecting Cole's continued global appeal. The pinnacle of Cole's career came in 1991 with the release of Unforgettable, With Love, an album that showcased her covering some of the most iconic songs recorded by her legendary father, Nat King Cole. Nearly 2 decades after she had refused to cover his songs in concert, Cole embraced her father's legacy in a deeply personal way, producing vocal arrangements for the album with accompaniment from her uncle Ike Cole on piano. The album's title track, a virtual duet between Natalie and her late father, became a massive success. The song reached #14 on the Billboard Hot 100 and #10 on the R&B chart, going gold. Unforgettable. With Love eventually sold over 7 million copies in the U.S. alone, winning multiple Grammy Awards, including Album of the Year and Record of the Year. Cole continued her success in the following years with albums like Take a Look, 1993, Holly and Ivy, a holiday album, also certified gold, and Stardust, 1996, which went platinum. Stardust featured another duet with her father on When I Fall in Love, which earned Cole a Grammy for Best Pop Collaboration with Vocals. Her contributions to the music world were further recognized when she received an honorary doctorate of music from the Berklee College of Music in 1995. By the late 1990s and early 2000s, Cole's career was experiencing a renaissance. She released the album Snowfall on the Sahara in 1999, along with The Magic of Christmas, another holiday album. She also produced her biographical TV movie Livin' for Love, The Natalie Cole Story, which aired in 2000. In 2002, Cole signed with Verve Records and released Ask a Woman Who Knows, an album of jazz standards, followed by Leavin' in 2006, which explored pop, rock, and R&B genres. In 2008, 17 years after her monumental Unforgettable. With Love album, Cole returned with Still Unforgettable, which featured more classic songs made famous by her father and Frank Sinatra. Throughout her career, Natalie Cole had proven time and again that she was more than just the daughter of a legend. She was a true musical force, able to navigate the challenges of personal struggles and industry pressures while creating timeless music that resonated with generations of fans. Throughout her illustrious career, Natalie Cole not only made her mark in the world of music, but also ventured into acting and television, showcasing her versatility and broad talent. In addition to her groundbreaking musical achievements, Cole pursued a variety of acting roles, hosted television shows, and made guest appearances in several high-profile events, proving that she was more than just a recording artist. One of her notable early television appearances was in 1988 during the Nelson Mandela 70th birthday tribute, a global event celebrating the anti-apartheid leader's influence. Cole performed alongside a star-studded lineup, including sidemen Richard Campbell, Jeffrey Worrell, Eddie Cole, and Dave Joyce, adding her musical prowess to a momentous occasion. This was just one of the many times Cole performed in concerts and music-related programs throughout her career, but it showcased her ability to use her platform for social causes and cultural moments. In 1990, Cole expanded her career into hosting with the television show Big Break, a talent competition that gave aspiring singers and musicians the opportunity to compete for a $100,000 prize. The show featured numerous performances and challenges, and Cole's involvement as host underscored her multifaceted talents, not just as a performer but as someone who could guide and inspire emerging artists. That same year, she teamed up with renowned jazz singer Al Jarreau to perform the song Mr. President during the Comic Relief Special, a fundraiser aimed at providing aid to the homeless. Her collaboration with Jarreau further emphasized her place in the music industry as an artist who could cross genres and work with a diverse range of talents. Cole's deep connection to her family's musical legacy was evident when she joined Johnny Mathis for the 1983 special, A Tribute to Nat Cole for the BBC. This collaboration with Mathis came after the two had stayed in contact following a special appearance on Cole's show in 1980. The tribute special, which celebrated her late father, Nat King Cole, was accompanied by an album of the same name, cementing Cole's relationship with the legacy of her father while also maintaining her own voice in the music world. The project highlighted her enduring respect for her father's iconic career and demonstrated her ability to honor that legacy while forging ahead with her own unique style. In 1992, after the immense success of Unforgettable with Love, a PBS special based on the album Unforgettable with Love, Natalie Cole sings the songs of Nat King, Cole was broadcast. The special earned critical acclaim and was nominated for an Emmy Award in the category of Outstanding Variety, Music, or Comedy Program. Cole herself was nominated for Outstanding Individual Performance, but lost to Bette Midler. Despite the loss, the special was a testament to her ability to merge her musical achievements with television production, offering fans a deeper connection to her work and her father's legacy. Cole continued to branch out into acting, making several dramatic television appearances. She appeared in the acclaimed drama I'll Fly Away, as well as episodes of Touched by an Angel, Law and Order, Special Victims Unit, and Grey's Anatomy, showcasing her acting chops and ability to tackle a variety of roles. She also took on the lead role in the TV movie Lily in Winter, a role that further demonstrated her versatility beyond music. Additionally, Cole had a cameo in the 2004 Cole Porter biopic Dee Lovely, where she played herself, adding another layer to her already impressive career. Perhaps one of the most significant acting moments of her career came in 2001, when Cole starred as herself in Livin' for Love, the Natalie Cole story. The TV movie chronicled her life, from her early struggles with addiction to her eventual triumphs in the music world. Her portrayal of her own life earned her the NAACP Image Award for Outstanding Actress in a television movie, miniseries, or dramatic special, solidifying her status as both a musical and acting icon. The film gave audiences a rare, intimate look into her personal and professional journey, adding a new chapter to her extensive career. Cole's love for music and performance continued to be evident throughout her career, including several high-profile performances. On February 5, 2007, she appeared on Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip, singing the classic hit I Say a Little Prayer at a benefit dinner, showcasing her continued relevance in both music and television. Cole also performed the national anthem at Super Bowl 28, where she sang with the Atlanta University Center Chorus, cementing her place as an enduring figure in American popular culture. Cole's star continued to shine on the small screen as she participated in a variety of special programs and guest appearances. In 2013, she was a guest on Tina Sinatra's Father's Day special on Sirius Radio, joining other notable figures like Deanna Martin and Monica Mancini in reminiscing about their famous fathers. This appearance highlighted her continued influence in the entertainment world, bridging generations of artists and musicians. On February 13, 2012, Cole made a guest appearance on RuPaul's Drag Race, serving as a guest judge for Season 4, Episode 3. The episode featured a performance of her classic hit This Will Be an Everlasting Love by contestants Dita Ritz and the Princess, who lip-synced to Cole's song. Cole was so impressed by their performance that she was seen cheering and interacting with the contestants, a moment that delighted fans of the show and cemented her connection to a new generation of performers. What do you think about Natalie Cole's life? Leave us your comments in the section below. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this, and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.